A mass migration is happening right now, and it's not what you think. Black Americans are leaving the United States in record numbers, choosing Africa as their new home. This isn't just tourism, this is permanent relocation. Welcome back to the channel, family. I am your host, and today we're diving deep into a phenomenon that is reshaping both the African continent and the African diaspora. We're talking about the unprecedented wave of Black Americans choosing to relocate to Africa permanently. What is driving this movement? Which countries are they choosing? And what does this mean for Africa's future? Let's start with the numbers, because they tell a powerful story. Like this video help more Africans see this story. According to the US State Department, the number of Black Americans living abroad has increased by over 40% in the last decade. Ghana alone has seen a 300% increase in African American residents since 2018. 300%. Tanzania, Zimbabwe, and Botswana, countries mentioned in countless social media posts, are experiencing similar surges. But this isn't a new phenomenon, family. Let me take you back. The connection between African Americans and the motherland has deep historical roots. From Marcus Garvey's Back to Africa movement in the 1920s to the establishment of Liberia as a homeland for freed American slaves, this dream has persisted for over 2 centuries. What is different now is the scale, the ease of travel, and most importantly, the economic opportunity that Africa presents. The continent that was once portrayed as needing salvation is now offering salvation to its diaspora children. African economies are booming. Nigeria's tech sector, dubbed the Silicon Valley of Africa, is attracting billions in investment. Kenya's mobile money revolution has made it a fintech leader globally. Ghana's Beyond the Return initiative specifically targets the African diaspora with incentives to relocate permanently. But here is what is really fascinating, and this is where it gets political, family. This movement represents one of the largest voluntary reverse migrations in modern history. For centuries, the narrative has been about Africans seeking opportunities in the West. Now, we're witnessing the reverse. African Americans are finding in Africa what they couldn't find in America: economic opportunity, cultural connection, and yes, safety. So who is driving this movement? Subscribe and hit the bell. The demographics might surprise you. We're not just talking about retirees seeking a lower cost of living, though they are certainly part of it. We're seeing young entrepreneurs in their 20s and 30s, tech professionals, artists, educators, and even entire families making the move. Take Ghana, for instance. The country's tech hub in Accra is now home to dozens of African American startup founders who relocated their entire operations. They're not just moving for personal reasons, they're moving because they see Africa as the next frontier of global growth. Then you have countries like Rwanda, which has become a darling of the diaspora community. With its rapid development, low crime rates, and business-friendly policies, Rwanda is attracting African Americans who want to be part of Africa's Renaissance story. The irony isn't lost: many are leaving America's cities plagued by violence to find safety in African cities they were taught to fear. Botswana, Zimbabwe, and Tanzania, the Holy Trinity mentioned in that viral social media post, each offer something unique. Botswana boasts political stability and diamond wealth. Tanzania offers natural beauty and Swahili culture. Zimbabwe, despite its challenges, provides affordable living and a strong educational system. But let's keep it real, family. This movement has created some interesting dynamics and, frankly, some tensions. Not everyone in Africa is rolling out the red carpet. Some locals view the influx of diaspora returnees with skepticism, seeing them as foreigners with American privilege rather than African brothers and sisters coming home. In Ghana, there has been debate about the Year of Return and Beyond the Return initiatives. Some Ghanaians argue that diaspora returnees receive benefits and opportunities that locals don't get. There is also the gentrification factor: African Americans with American salaries and savings can afford properties that price out local residents. On the flip side, many African governments and citizens celebrate this movement. Subscribe for honest, Pan-African analysis you won't find on CNN or BBC. They see diaspora returnees as bringing capital, skills, and connections that benefit the entire continent. It is estimated that diaspora returnees contribute over $2 billion annually to African economies through investment and spending. There is also the cultural exchange aspect that is often overlooked. African Americans are rediscovering roots while sharing their own unique cultural innovations. The fusion happening in places like Lagos, Accra, and Kigali is creating new forms of art, music, and business that are uniquely Pan-African. But perhaps the most significant impact is psychological and spiritual. For many African Americans, this move represents healing from generational trauma. Imagine growing up being told your ancestors were slaves, that your history began in chains, only to discover that your roots run deep in kingdoms, universities, and civilizations that predate European contact. The women especially are finding empowerment in Africa that they struggle to find in America. In countries like Senegal and Ghana, successful businesswomen are common sights. The glass ceilings that exist in American corporations often don't exist in emerging African markets where merit and hustle matter more than old boys' networks. Now, let's talk about what this means for Africa's future. This reverse migration is happening at a crucial time in African development. The African Continental Free Trade Area, the world's largest free trade area since the WTO, is creating opportunities across the continent. Diaspora returnees, with their global perspectives and connections, are perfectly positioned to capitalize on this integration. We're also seeing the emergence of a new Pan-African identity. The Africa that diaspora returnees are helping to build isn't just copying Western models, it is creating something uniquely African. From fintech innovations that leapfrog traditional banking to renewable energy solutions designed for African conditions, this collaboration is yielding real results. But challenges remain. Many African countries still lack the infrastructure to support large-scale migration. Healthcare systems, while improving, aren't at American standards. Education systems vary widely in quality. And let us not forget the bureaucratic hurdles getting residency, work permits, and citizenship can be frustrating processes that need streamlining. The political implications are also significant. As more African Americans gain citizenship and voting rights in African countries, they will bring in American organizing skills and civic engagement practices. This could accelerate democratic development across the continent. Looking ahead, this movement is likely to accelerate. Climate change is making part of America less livable while African countries invest heavily in sustainable development. Political polarization in America continues to worsen while African democracies mature and stabilize. Economic opportunities in Africa are expanding while American social mobility stagnates. The African Union should take note and create continent-wide policies to facilitate this movement. Imagine a unified African passport that allows diaspora descendants to live and work anywhere on the continent. The economic and cultural benefits would be transformational. For the individual African Americans making this move, the advice is clear: do your research, learn the local language and customs, and come with humility and respect. You're not going to save Africa. You're going to join Africa's own development journey. And for African governments, the message is equally clear: create policies that welcome diaspora returnees while protecting local interests. This isn't a zero-sum game. Done right, this movement benefits everyone. The story of African Americans returning to Africa is really the story of Africa rising and taking its rightful place in the global economy. It is about healing historical wounds and building bridges across oceans. It is about young Africans in New York and young African Americans in Lagos recognizing that their destinies are intertwined. This is more than migration, it is a renaissance. And we're just getting started. Subscribe and hit the bell. Check out this next video where we dive into specific success stories of African Americans who have made the move and transformed their lives and communities. The motherland is calling, and more of our children are finally answering. What are your thoughts on this movement? Are you considering making the move yourself? Comment your thoughts below and let us keep this conversation going, family.